Hello YouTube, Mr. SAAB here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about alternators. Specifically high output alternators, that one that I put in my car for my stereo, but I will be touching on just replacing this alternator with a normal one if yours stopped working. So the first step you're going to do is to take off this plastic cover, so you've got your 3 Torx bits at the top there. I already took mine off for simplicity of the video, so I'm going to just take that off right there. So your next step is going to be one of two things. One, you need to get these 3 tubes off of each other by just taking off these clamps. And two, you're going to need to get this little bracket off of the engine block. So I'll do the engine block bracket first. And what we're going to do here is you've got 4 screws. You've got one up there, one down there by my finger, one behind this thing. It's like right up there. You can see it right up there. And one down right behind this thing, which you can see right behind there. So basically you're going to take those 4 screws out. They're 10mm screws, so you just need a 10mm socket, just like what I have right here. You're going to take those out and unplug those. So next, you're going to have these 3 tubes that are the engine coolant tubes. So you're going to want to take these clamps off, put a cup right in here, which is what I did, because the engine coolant's going to drain out of here. You can drain it into there and then reuse it later. So what I did was I zip tied this tube to the front of the car, this one to the air filter box, and this one just stays stationary. So what this is going to allow you to do is you're going to be able to take this little piece of the engine block, because you're going to need more room because your alternator is buried down there. So you're going to want to take this piece. These will be out of the way for you guys, these 3 tubes. But you're just going to want to move this block, move it out of the way. You can pin it up. You can do whatever you want with it. Just get it out of the way, and then you can see the engine block underneath that, obviously. So once you do that, and then you have these 3 tubes off, you're going to have clear view of your alternator right underneath here, as you can see the casing there. So the first step with your alternator that you have to do is you have to go down here. I don't know if I can see it in the video there, but you'll see down here right where my hand is, that's where the belt is sitting on the pulley. So you need that belt to come off the pulley. So you need a belt tensioner, and the one that I used here is a Napa Ultra Pro. It's a ratcheting serpentine belt tool set. So it just comes with a bunch of different attachments here, and then it comes with this little bar here and this here. So the SAAB 9.3s use this little piece right here. It's a 3/8 bit, so you just put that in the end there, put it in the end up there, and this tool is good to go. So what you're going to do with the tool, which I can kind of show right here, is you're going to follow the tool here. You're going to put it down behind that, so in between your filter box and right where you can see that little piece right there that I'm hitting off of. So what you're going to do is put the tool in there. I'll put a diagram online. It's very hard to see it from here. I'll put a diagram in the description of a picture that I found that makes it easier to find. But basically you're going to put the tool down there, and you're going to so you're going to put it back here like this. You're going to find that little spot, and you're going to lift this handle towards the car, which releases the tension of the belt, and then you'll be able to pull the belt off of the pulley, and then you can just work on the alternator specifically. So the alternator, you can see right here, right where that brown thing is there, or that black casing, there's 1 screw there. There's another one on the top on the other side behind this hose, and there's 2 on the bottom. Now you're gonna have to remove those 4 screws and to be able to gain access to your alternator there. So removing those 4 screws, it's just a 13mm wrench here with a socket, and what you're gonna do is it's very awkward, honestly. It's awkward to get the 4 screws out, so you're gonna need to use extensions maybe. But just once you get the 4 out, they look like this. I took one out just for an example here. So it looks like that. They're very long screws, so you will be unscrewing for a while, especially if you haven't taken them off before. They'll be pretty solid on there. These are the other screws for the engine block piece, in case anyone wanted to see those. But yeah, so once you get those 4 screws off, those are the important part. Then I'll shine a light here so we can see it. So you can see down there, there's a little piece of red hose that's attached to a screw there. So that piece, that is the power to the alternator from the battery. So you're going to want to just take a screwdriver, or a socket rather, and get that off, and then that wire can just hang free. Now beside it there, you can see also there's a little clip. There's a little black clip right beside it. You just unclip that. It's just a basic clip. And then everything off of the alternator is dealt with. So what I found to do is the easiest way for the alternator, maybe it is better light if I hold that like that. The best way to get the alternator out, here I can give you a view now actually of what it is underneath there. So that's the pulley you can see. So that's what you're going to be trying to get off. So the easiest way to get this alternator out is to grab that pulley and lift straight up. So what that means, I'll show my hand here, you're going to pull up and lift straight up out of the alternator there, and that is the easiest way to get that out of the engine bay. So once you have the alternator out there, then you're basically done, and you can put in your other alternator, your new one, exactly the ways you took this one out. So you're going to want to put it back in the exact same way. You're going to want to attach those two pieces first, or you'll forget about them and it'll be very hard to get them on. Trust me, I've done that, and it is kind of ignorant to put them on. So then you're going to put those on, then the 4 bolts, then the 3 hoses, and then you're going to put that little block back on. Now let me show you something very important here. When you're putting this engine piece back in, let me see if I can get it with my hand here quick. So you put that engine piece back in, but what's very important here that I'm going to try to show there is you can see right at the top there, there's a little washer piece that I'm showing you right there. That has to be on the engine block because that's very important, or your engine will not run. So you need to do that, and then you are all good to go. So that's the complete installation and uninstallation of an alternator. So the company that I went with Singer Alternators. It's a man named Michael Singer. He's based out of Ohio in the United States, and he makes very expensive alternators, but they're high quality, and I would highly recommend them. My alternator, it's a 240 amp high output alternator, and it puts out obviously 240 amps like I just said, and it costs about $700 Canadian by the time I had it in my hands, which I know is very expensive, but it was a hand milled alternator. Obviously because SAAB's very exclusive, so you know you're not going to get anything cheap. But the reason that I did that is because I saw a lot of horror stories online of people with companies using such as Excessive Amperage and Power Bastards and MechMan. I'm not dissing those companies because I've never used them, but I just see reviews online from people that put their alternators on a dyno, or they just test them with a voltage meter, and that they're not putting out their true output. So I wanted to make sure to get the job done right, because you just saw and you will experience how taking out these alternators are not the simplest of steps. So you're going to want to make sure you only have to do it once, because doing it more than once is very inconvenient. In my next video, I'll be showing you guys how to do the wiring from the alternator to the battery, and batteries in my case, and maybe in yours. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.